The call is not a trumpet. It's a throb behind the eyes, a restlessness, a knowing, and you ignore it again and again, until ignoring it hurt more than answering it. No one wants to be called, not really. It sounds noble, the call to adventure, the beginning of a myth. But what it really feels like is nausea, irritation, the strange discomfort when everything looks fine but nothing feels right. And you feel it first in the body, in the ache that just won't go away, in the sleep that doesn't restore, in the moment your own reflection feels like a stranger. This is the call. It's not a voice from the heavens, not a mentor with a staff, just the quiet agony of a life that no longer fits because, in many respects, it's been dismantled. And most people ignore it. You've ignored it too. And so did I. Not once, not twice, many times. You told yourself, it's just a bad week. I should be more grateful, and this is just how things are. You convince yourself to stay in the job, in the marriage, to maintain the persona, to continue to perpetuate the loop. You learn to sedate the voice. You called it growth. You called it stability. But deep down, you knew this was a life built to protect you from the one you actually meant to live. The first stage of the hero's journey is not bravery, it's refusal. And this is part of the myth. You say no because yes would ruin everything, and it would. Answering the call will cost you approval, belonging, and your carefully constructed identity. And that's why so few ever begin. Because to begin is to admit, I can't stay here any longer, even if here is everything I've built. Because you think you'll lose security, but what you'll lose first is your illusion of control. You think you'll lose comfort, but what you'll lose first is your ability to lie to yourself. This is the call's real cruelty. It strips you of your excuses before it builds your wings. So why do people ignore it? Because answering it means becoming visible. It means stepping out of the crowd. It means being misunderstood by those still invested in their own sedation. It means grief, not always of people, but of selves. The version of you who kept everything together, he dies first. And that's why people wait and wait until the ache becomes unbearable, until the symptoms become louder than the fear. The hero doesn't start their journey because they're strong. They start it because they're done. You were never called to be spectacular. You were called to be honest. And the first honesty is this: I can no longer pretend that this is enough. That's it. That's the beginning. You'll want to turn back. Even now, you'll romanticize what you just left. You'll wonder if it was really that bad. And you'll tell yourself the ache was in your head. But the voice doesn't stop. It never does. The call doesn't yell. It waits. And every time you ignore it, it speaks a little more deeply into your bones. Until one day, you can't sit still. Not because you're broken, but because you're finally listening. This isn't a leap. It's a stumble, a collapse into truth. The call doesn't come because you're ready. It comes because something in you is already dying, and you can't carry it any longer. So you answer, and the world, quiet as stone, begins to open. You didn't answer the call because you were brave. You answered because staying silent became unbearable. Welcome to The Architect Speaks.